Hello out there in cryptocurrency land. How's everyone doing today? Time for a quick update on the markets for cryptocurrencies. So, Bitcoin looks like it negated the head and shoulders pattern that we were looking at right here. This being the left shoulder, head, and the right shoulder. This being the neckline, this line right here. If you're not familiar with the head and shoulders pattern, this is a reversal pattern. Typically means things are going to resolve to the downside. However, as you know that we never actually try to forecast or foresee the prices, we just do what the charts tell us to do. And fortunately for us, we never got the sell signal on the head and shoulders pattern, so that is a good thing. We negated that pattern right about here, going over the top of the right shoulder. Nice pop in towards 63 and change, and now we're holding strong right up here, kind of testing the prior high, just sitting right here. Nothing too bad at all looking at the chart right here. If we dive down to the 15 minute, we can see the volume signature a little more clearly, just to see exactly where the volume came in. And as you can see, we had a nice push up here into the all-time highs on really good volume, and then the next bar immediately was a profit-taking bar. Doesn't look like it's extreme selling, just some profit-taking. And you're going to expect that in Bitcoin as it rises up. People are going to take some money off of the table, but really no crazy selling happening after that peak event. Everyone just kind of let it go. So no more buying, no more selling. Looks like we're just going flat. So that's really good for Bitcoin. Just kind of hopefully drifting higher. Nothing too crazy. That would be a very sustainable action for Bitcoin. But keep in mind the longer term picture, we are in this large rising wedge. Let me back out to the daily chart here. So we're still in this large rising wedge in Bitcoin overall. A rising wedge is a pattern that is typically broken to the downside. However, this is cryptocurrency. They don't always follow, exactly what the patterns are going to do, as you just saw with the head and shoulders pattern. But that being said, this is a bearish pattern. Just kind of keep that in mind. It depends which trend line breaks. Right now, the markets can do anything. Don't get me wrong. I'm not forecasting one way or the other. But when the coin starts to break one or the other of these trend lines, traders will actually look for that signal and then act in kind. What that means is that if we break down, we will probably break down. We will probably go downward some, unless there's some large investors on the sidelines that want to get in. They'll pick a bottom somewhere and they'll make that bottom. But if you break this to the upside, then as we've been talking the past couple of videos, then maybe it's game on for a very nice spike, very nice run up. And if you didn't catch my last video, we talked about Litecoin kind of being the pattern for that. Right here we were in a rising channel situation, which also usually resolves itself to the downside. However, it did not in this case, and we spiked higher pretty tremendously. We had a move here from $70 up towards almost $100. So that's nearly a 50% increase out of that trend line. So that would be equivalent to a spike in Bitcoin going basically towards like, $10,000. So we start to rise up and then we spike up out here about 50% from the 6,800 level. Maybe we spike up out here. That's right up knocking at 10 grand before we get a big correction. So we'll see what happens. But as of right now, we've negated this head and shoulders pattern. We're bull from here on out. Still in this rising wedge. You must respect the pattern, or at least be aware of it, and have some trading plans in either direction. But that's where we're at right now in Bitcoin. Looking very good, very healthy. Nice volume here to the upside, and looks good. Ethereum finally caught a little bit of a trade, a little bit of a bid. Nothing too crazy, nothing too actionable. But if you go down to the lower term time frames, we're on the 2 hour now. On the 2 hour, there is kind of a, I'm not going to call it an inverse head and shoulders, although it's kind of a loose, similar pattern, more of a reversal pattern than it is a head and shoulders pattern. We were stuck in this very tight range here, also coming out of this big spike higher. We're stuck in this range. We came up pretty nicely, and this is a very interesting little pattern that's formed here. It is a bull flag. What a bull flag is, it's a rise up out of a base of some kind, and then it's a consolidation at the higher levels of the spike up, and that's what we're seeing here in Ethereum. The interesting part here is that there's so many red bars for whatever reason, there's just so many red bars in a row here, and so the volume, it looks like a lot of selling. It appears that way, and time will tell if it's actually selling or not. But I mean, we had this nice, and this volume pop here on this candle isn't very, the volume isn't very pronounced. The candle's pretty pronounced, but the volume isn't very pronounced. So, you know, we'll see here. Looks like this pattern is going to come to fruition here very shortly. So we'll see if it's going to proceed higher or if it's going to come back down into this base level. We'll just kind of have to wait and see. But I just think it's a very interesting little pattern. Just something I don't think I've seen something like that that's so red but yet looks bullish. Usually the price will prevail in this, but you know, anything can happen. But yeah, so if we back out here from Ethereum, I mean, overall, let me get my chart looking better for you guys. So overall, we talked about being inside this large symmetrical triangle. Man, I'm gonna go to the daily on this one. We talked about, you know, this large symmetrical triangle consolidating this very large run in Ethereum from the summer. And you know, it's just a nice consolidation. Hopefully we can break out of this to the upside and get a nice run, get us towards 1,000, 1,500. You know, we'll see. No one knows what's going to happen in these coins, but one thing that's for certain is they always run more than you think they're gonna. So, you know, I'm personally thinking $800 to $1,000. But I mean, if we break out from the 420 level here, this thing could make a run towards 1,500. That would give us, you know, 300 to 400% move up in Ethereum, which is not unheard of for altcoins. If you keep in mind, this percentage run right here was in terms of 2,000%, 3,000%. So, you know, 300% run in Ethereum could be in the cards sometime early next year to mid next year. So, anyway, Ethereum finally caught a little bit of a bid here. Nothing too crazy to get excited about, but is a nice action to take note of because it hasn't really done anything for several days now. Outside of that, not a whole lot going on. Neo caught a bit of a bid here, up 2%, 2.5%, but still not doing anything. Still just flatlining. We're trading in this channel, which now looks like we're going more into a horizontal type of a channel, but you know, time will tell how that's going to play out. But yeah, not too many quality coins doing things. Stratus is the only one that still is acting pretty bullish. We had this W pattern, this double bottom in Stratus, looking pretty good. We popped up out of this pattern right here. We failed and came back in, but we're starting to see some volume again here come in today. So that's pretty good. Hopefully we can break over some levels, get Stratus going again. It'd be nice to see something else move other than just Bitcoin. I mean, really no sustained moves in the markets. It's just been choppy, just been moving around. The good news is nothing's really broken down. Omisigo still living at lows, but hasn't broken down yet. It could be in the cards. We're seeing, you know, levels tested and lower highs indicating buying pressure is being diminished, and you're seeing this over and over again in many coins. Like I said, Neo itself is going sideways. Lisk, it was a little stronger earlier today, but as of right now, it's looking a little bit weak. But not much else happening. I mean, there's been a couple poppers, a couple of movers, but most moves are being faded. Vertcoin probably the strongest coin in the market right now, by a long shot. We had this very nice run in Vertcoin, kind of, you know, depending which base level you want to take. There's a lot of levels it can technically break out from, but from the 154 up to a high here of 550 is a pretty good move in Vertcoin. So maybe this can give us some more moves in the future. We'll just kind of have to wait and see. Pick a base level to be broken, something like this. This level here at just under $5, that gets broken. That may be good for another run, but it has had a couple of runs. It could be getting tired, and exhaustion can come in at any time, causing some type of a large correction. So keep an eye on that, but not much else happening really. A couple moves, but they've all been faded around. But Bitcoin is really the big note of the day, breaking past into all-time highs, and Ethereum finally doing something for us. So there you go, guys. Quick market update. Subscribe if you like the video. Like the video if you like the video. And I will see you guys in the chat room. Have a good day.